Welcome back to the Treasures of Mishnayot. We are continuing in Masech Berachot Perek Bet, Mishna Dalet, a short Mishnah. So Bezrat Hashem, we're going to try to finish the whole thing today. The Bi'ur Mishnah Dalet, the Kahati explains as an introduction. He says, Mishnah Zob Ba'al Lamdeinu. This Mishnah comes to teach us Sha'po'olim Korim Shema Bishat Malachtam, that the workers, they are allowed to go ahead and recite Kriya Shema at the time when they are doing their malacha, their work. V'chen muva b'brayta, and so it was brought down in the Braita. Beit Hillel Omirim, Beit Hillel says, Oskim b'malachtam v'korim. They are allowed to work at the time when they are reciting the Kriya Shema. Begins the Mishnah in the Kahati. Ha'umanim. What are umanim? Balei malacha ha'oskim b'malachtam. We're dealing with workers that they're dealing with their work. Kigon, for example, poel, a worker, ha'omed al ha'ilan ve'oseg biguzam or bikituf. You have a worker that is standing on top of a tree and is dealing with right now trimming the tree or plucking the fruits or breaking the branches, doesn't matter. O banai ha'omed al pigum ve'oseg bebinyat kir. Or if you have a builder that is standing on top of a scaffold and he's right now busy in building a wall. V'giyaz man Kriya Shema, and the time for the Kriya Shema came. Enam tzrichim leredet lemata likro. They do not need to come down to the bottom and to recite the Shema. Ela rather, korin berosh ha'ilan or berosh ha'nidbach. Rather, they're going to read the Kriya Shema on top of the tree or on top of the nidbach. We'll see what a nidbach is. While they are standing on top of the tree or on top of the nidbach. Comes the Kahati and he tells you what's a nidbach. There's two ways to understand what's a nidbach. Hu shara shel avanim. It's either a row of stones or levanim bibinyan, or maybe you have these bricks that are already inside the building. Meaning when you're building a wall, correct? If you have to go down and you have to start building, let's say you are 4 feet up, 5 feet up. So that you might be even on top of the wall. So whether you're on top of that wall that you're building, or whether you are on top of rows of bricks on top of them. I don't know if you guys ever saw, when people do construction, correct? They have these big trucks, these big cranes, they come, they pick up their bricks, they put it in front of their house, and then the workers come and take one by one. Let's say you have a guy, he's on top of the row of bricks, and he's passing the bricks to one of the workers. When the time of the Kriya Shema comes, he has to stop and he has to go ahead and he has to say Kriya Shema. Meaning he could say Kriya Shema on top of the bricks and he doesn't have to come down. So, Rabotai, before we do continue, let's see this outside. Comes the Mishnah tells you, the workers that are on top of the tree or on top of building blocks or on top of the rows of stone, doesn't matter. If you are on top of something and you're doing your malacha, you're working. Now, a tree could be 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet, 100 feet up. Now, if you're on top of such a tree, by the time it comes to take down, it takes time. So now you're going to steal from the balabait. The Chachamim, they didn't want you to steal from the balabait. They didn't want you to take time away from your work, because even a 10-foot tree or even a 5-foot tree, to come down, it takes time. Oh, you'll tell me, Rabbi, it's only 2 seconds. 2 seconds is called thievery. It's also thievery, Rabbotai. So comes the Kahati and explains the Mishnah over here. He says, if you have the workers that are standing on top of the tree, whether they were trimming the branches or whether they were plucking the fruits, or they're on top of the wall that they're building, or on top of nidbach, a row of stones, we just got over here, doesn't matter. We don't require them to come down from there to go stand on the floor and to recite the Shema. We'll tell them, right where you are, go ahead and say the Shema in your place. The person on the tree, the builder on the building. Continues the Kahati and he says, which they wouldn't be permitted to do so when it comes to davening Shemona Esrei. That we're not going to allow them. We're not going to allow them to daven Shemona Esrei on top of the tree or on top of this nidbach. So he says over here, tefillah stam v'nizkeret b'Mishnah, haynu tefillah Shemona Esrei. Whenever you see tefillah, the word prayer that's mentioned in the Mishnah, when it's mentioned without specifying what kind of prayer it is, we're going to tell you that is the prayer of the 18 blessing prayer of the Shemona Esrei. One second. Oh, Rabotai, that's it. That's the whole Mishnah. And now he's just going to come to bring some more points, but that's the whole Mishnah. That's it. Came the Mishnah to teach us. שתפילה שמונה עשרה אין הפועלים רשאים להתפלל כשהם עומדים בראש האילן או בראש הנטבח. When you're dealing with the prayer of the 18 blessing prayer, the workers, they're not allowed to daven on top of the tree or on top of the nidbach. שכן התפילה בקשת רחמים היא וצריכה כוונת הלב. Because prayer is something that you have to request mercy from HaKadosh Baruch Hu to have on you. And it requires intention. A person has to have kavanah when you're daven. That's why we're going to tell you not to daven on top of the tree or the nidbach. Why? V'omdim al ha'ilan or al nidbach einam yocholim lechaven. Because the people that are standing on top of the tree or on top of the nidbach, they're not going to be able to have kavanah. Shemefchadim hem pen yipul, because they're afraid lest they fall down. So that's why in Shemona Esrei you have to come down and daven Shemona Esrei on the ground. Even if the tree is 100 feet high, it's going to take you 30 minutes to come down, doesn't matter. If the time for Shemona Esrei came, you got to come down, because davening Shemona Esrei up there, you won't be able to have the proper intention, because you're always going to be afraid maybe you're going to fall. Hilkach, therefore, he says, Yordim hem lemata o mitpalalim. Therefore, they come down and they daven Shemona Esrei. Baram, however, he says, B'kriyat Shema ein tzarich kavanah ela b'pasuk rishon bavad. However, when it comes to Kriyat Shema, you only need to have kavanah only in the first verse alone. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. According to the Sephardim, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Lo Olam Va'ed. Kemo she'evanu le'el lefi HaGimor v'HaRambam, like we brought above, according to the Gemara and the Rambam, v'yochlim lechaven bo gam kishehem omdim l'mayla. And they're going to be able to have kavanah also when they are standing on top of the tree or on top of the nidbach. Mikol makom, nevertheless, posek Rambam, the Rambam makes a psak halacha, sheha'emanim korim amnam birosh ha'elan or birosh ha'nidbach. However, he says, when we're going to tell you that the umanim, the workers, they're allowed to read on top of a tree or on top of a nidbach, aval betelim hem mimalachtam b'kriyat aparsha rishon kula. But nevertheless, they cannot do any form of malacha at the whole first parsha. Kidei shelo tiyeh kriyatam aray. In order for the reciting of the Shema, shouldn't be like in a casual manner. It shouldn't be haphazard, without respect. Rabotai, bottom line over here we see that the Mishnah says, Ha'umarim korim birosh ha'elan or birosh ha'nidbach. Workers, they are allowed to read on top of the tree or on top of the nidbach. Mash'enan rasha'im lasot ken b'tefillah, which they wouldn't be permitted to do so by Shemona Esrei. The reason why by Shema we give them, since they only have to go ahead and say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, and for that, Rabotai, you don't need to have a lot of kavanah. So even though you're on top, and that's the only thing you have to have kavanah for, we're not afraid, Rabotai, you're not going to have kavanah, because it's a very short time. But to daven a whole Shemona Esrei, over there we are afraid that you're not going to be able to have kavanah. So that's what we're going to tell you. Calm down. Rabotai, with this we do conclude Perek Bet, Mishna, Dalet. But in the following class, we will starting Mishna Hey. Have a great day. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen. Amen.